What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning into the channel. I'm Kevin Duffy. This is Duffy Geeks Out, and I'm coming at you with my thoughts on the breaking news that James Gunn and Peter Safran have found their Superman and their Lois for their upcoming film, the first film in the DC universe, Superman Legacy. Now, there's been a list of actors who have been auditioning for these two roles, and it's been going back and forth for a little bit. But after seeing the images of these actors as they were, announced as being the kind of final candidates that they were kind of going back and forth on, there were really only two that stood out to me, and they're the two that they went with. Which is convenient because that's very rare in Hollywood that I will see casting rumors and be like, well, it's got to be that person for sure. I feel like that never happens. Although, little sidebar here, I did, the second that Rob Pattinson's name was thrown into the mix for the Batman, I said, well, it's got to be him. I can't even picture anybody else doing that. Very similar to what happened here with Superman Legacy, because, like I said, these two actors that they chose are the two that as soon as they were on the list, I said, it's got to be those two. It can't be anybody else. The first one, which I will talk about, is the guy who got the role of Clark Kent, Kal-El, Superman. Got to be able to do three different people, really. And that is David Corenswet, who I do not know this actor's filmography at all. I've never seen him in anything, but just based on the stills that I saw of him when it was first announced that he was in the final contention, I said, that dude looks just like a young Superman. It's got to be him. He's got the jawline, he's got the hair, he's got the face. He's 6'4", which does not hurt to have your Superman be a big fucking dude. So that's really cool. I think he's got some lean muscle on him now, which I think they start filming at the end of this year, so he's got time to bulk up a little bit. Again, he doesn't have to be Henry Cavill jacked. Henry Cavill was obviously that almost perfect Superman body, but he's a younger Superman, and honestly, the dude's a fucking alien from another planet whose strength comes from his exposure to the yellow sun. Him being jacked, it's cool in some of the comic runs and stuff like that, but he doesn't have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger big to be Superman. He can just be, a pretty in shape dude who's pretty muscular, and that'll be good enough. And he's got plenty of time to get in shape, so I don't think the people at Warner Brothers are concerned at all. I don't think he's concerned at all. Like I said, he looks great. He looks exactly like a Superman in his mid-20s, late 20s would look. So some of the Henry Cavill camp might be a little mad that they cast somebody who looks just like Henry Cavill. But you know what? You got to move on, man. The DCU is dead. And little sidebar here, I am actually going to be doing a video talking a little more about the DCU and why it had to die. I will release that video probably sometime later this week. Keep an eye out for it. Anyways, so that takes us to the second casting that was announced. And this person, again, I saw her on the list and I said, it's her. It has to be her, and that is Miss Maisel herself, Rachel Brosnahan. Now, if you've seen The Marvelous Miss Maisel on Amazon Prime Video, she is an awesome actress. She is so much fun. She's gorgeous, and she really owns every scene she's in. And what's perfect about her getting cast as Lois Lane is the character of Miss Maisel. It sets the groundwork for her to already kind of have this character down. Miss Maisel, in the world that her show is set in, if you don't know the show, she's a comic in the 1950s or 60s. I always mix up the years that it's supposed to be set in. But regardless, she's a stand-up comic in a field that is totally run by men, trying to stand out and kind of, speak to something that society doesn't necessarily want to hear from a woman at the time. And I feel like that really lends itself to Lois Lane being this awesome, journalist, this awesome investigative reporter who is going to go above and beyond to get the scoop in a field that, maybe not in modern days, but it was primarily when Superman was first introduced, run by men. So I feel like Miss Maisel gave Rachel Brosnahan exactly what she needed to be able to nail this role. And I'm so excited. I mean, they're a great-looking couple of people, so seeing them on screen, I'm super excited for. My hope for this movie is that they will be able to reignite some of that chemistry between Superman and Lois. That I don't think it'll be like a will they won't they scenario, because if you know Superman, it's a will they. So ultimately, but I really am looking forward to some more of the like Christopher Reeve, Margot Kidder level of like back and forth that they would have. You know, her and Clark she'd give Clark a bunch of shit and he'd just kind of eat it. And then as Superman, it was like reverse. Like she's like awestruck by this god and he's just, you know, smitten with her. So it's a cute dynamic that I feel like the DCEU version of the character did not at all get right. Amy Adams is a great actress, but I feel like she was horribly miscast as Lois Lane, and I did not feel the chemistry between her and Henry Cavill at all. I think he had more chemistry with Martian Manhunter. You never even had a scene with him. That's terrible. I should probably cut that, but I'll keep it. No, I just feel like they had really poor chemistry, and it's something that I think, if I had to guess, James Gunn's going to get right. But my hope for this movie is that they're able to nail these characters and kind of bring them back to their, you know, their wholesome selves that they, you know, are usually represented as in the comics. Superman needs to be the beacon of hope for the world. And I understand this is a young Superman. He's already established in this world. It's not an origin story for the character by any means, but I feel like it needs, you need to be able to at least have Superman be that beacon of hope for at least the city of Metropolis. And then even if it's like an introductory story, like the guy's like 2 or 3 years into being Superman and he's known, but nobody really knows him. And maybe that's Lois Lane getting the first opportunity to interview him or something like that comes in at that point. But I don't know what story they're going to tell, but I am positive that James Gunn is going to nail that tone perfectly and bring us back to more classic version of these characters. Now, that doesn't mean that this movie's going to be boring. I know that a lot of the people in the Snyder camp, Team Snyder, I know that a lot of them are concerned that this movie's going to go back to being some kind of boring movie, and they love the action set forth in the Snyderverse. And yeah, I kind of understand that. The Reeves Superman movies aren't the best action movies ever, and they're a little dated with their special effects. But I think what you're going to get here is a perfect blend of the two. I think you're going to get the iconic versions of these characters set in action set pieces that are going to make them stand out as modern action classics. So I don't think there's anything to worry about. I'm super excited to see these two on screen. I mean, I already know that Rachel Brosnahan is going to kill it as Lois Lane. I'm going to do a deep dive into David Corenswet and see what kind of chops this guy has. But either way, I'm excited for this casting. The only one I'm bummed about is Nicholas Hoult. Man, this kid tried out for Batman, didn't get it. Tried out for Superman, didn't get it. There's rumors that he might be getting Lex Luthor, which would be cool. I think he'd be a good character for that. A good actor for Lex Luthor, rather. But I really don't know. I feel like this kid's he's just striking out everywhere. He tries to go with these big franchise characters. So I don't know. The poor bastard. But I'm hoping that they can maybe bring him on as Lex. But then I read an article today that said they're looking at both Alexander and Bill Skarsgård, trying to decide which one of them they would use for Lex Luthor potentially. I heard Bradley Cooper's name was thrown out there too. Obviously, he's real tight with James Gunn, so that could be the case there too. Any of these people will be fine, honestly. Lex Luthor is a great character that, as long as you're not going the Jesse Eisenberg route, it should be pretty okay. So, anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the news we can confirm on Superman Legacy. The question is for you. What did you think about this casting news? Are you excited to see David Corenswet as Superman? Are you excited to see Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane? Are you sad that Nicholas Hoult didn't get it? Whatever you thought, please let me know in the comments. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll come at you with more reviews, more content as I come to it. Thanks.